Praise his name. Trust, I feel like we all had some trouble in our way. And we all worry about trouble. So I want to sing a verse or two of page 10 in your folder. Trouble in my way. Trouble in my way, trouble in my way. I have to cry sometime. I have to cry sometime. Trouble in my way, trouble in my way. I have to cry sometime. I have to cry sometime. I lay awake at night. I lay awake at night. But that's all right. That's all right. I know that Jesus, He will fix it. I know that Jesus, He will fix it. After a while, trouble in my home, trouble in my home. I have to mourn sometime. I have to mourn sometime. Trouble in my home, trouble in my home. I have to mourn sometime. I have to mourn sometime. I lay awake at night. I lay awake at night. But that's all right. That's all right. I know that Jesus, He will fix it. 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 After a while, trouble in the church, trouble in the church. I have to mourn sometime, try to mourn sometime. Trouble in the church, trouble in the church. I have to mourn sometime. I have to mourn sometime. I lay awake at night. I lay awake at night. But that's all right. That's all right. Know that Jesus, He will fix it. I 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 know that Jesus, He will fix it. After a while, after a while. Good morning, church. Psalm 118, verse 118, verse 24 is said, this is the day the Lord hath made. He said, let us rejoice and be glad in it, church. It went on and said in Romans chapter 6 and verse 23. It said, the wages of sin is death, but the gift of life is eternal life. Church, I just stopped by to say, God is real. Church, God is real. If you don't believe me, try Jesus. He's all right. Church, try Jesus. He's all right. He won't leave you, church, and He won't forsake you. Church, I read in my Bible, after 3 days, they find Him in the temple sitting among the teachers. He was listening and asking questions. Just as Joseph and Mary, it was custom that they would go to Jerusalem every year and for the feast and the Passover. And church, as they was going at this point of time, baby Jesus was at the age of 12. And church, as they were leaving Jerusalem, church, about a one-day journey, as they look around, church, they realized that baby Jesus wasn't with them. Church, Mary and Joseph began to worry. And church, they turned around and went back to Jerusalem. And church, they say about 3 days journey, and they found baby Jesus. And church, they say baby Jesus was in the temple. He was sitting among the teachers, church. They say he was asking questions, and he was listening. Matthew 7:7 said, ask, and it shall be given. He said, seek, and it shall be found. He said, knock, and the doors shall be open. It said, happy is the man that finds wisdom, church, and the man that get an understanding. Church, I come to say today, knowledge and understanding is the key to life problem. Church, prayer is powerful. Church, prayer is the answer. Church, when you got knowledge and understanding, church, and faith and wisdom, you are blessed and thankful. Church, Paul encouraged us. He said, be thankful when you approach God with your requests. See, God has been good to us, church, from our early resistance down to this present moment. Church, he's Alpha and Omega. He's the first and the last. Church, who wouldn't want to serve a God like that? Church, see, God want to bless us. Do you want to be blessed today, church? I do. Church, I just want to stop here for a minute. Church, before I go any further, I just want to tell the Lord, he's worthy to be praised. Church, he's worthy to be praised. Church, I just want to thank my beautiful wife for being here today with me. I want to thank my mother-in-law for coming out. I want to thank my brother for showing up today. And church, I want to thank each and every one of you. Church, I want to thank, if we have any visitor today, you are welcome today. And I want to thank Brother Thompson for giving me an opportunity to stand in his place today. Church, and I just want to thank him and his wife for all they do for the Green Mill. I want to thank our elder and their wife for what they do, and to all the members. And I just want to thank each and every brother that stood before me in our devotion today. I want to thank the brother for reading the text. I want to thank the brother for lifting up in prayer. And I can't go without saying thank those brothers for those songs. But Brother Thompson said, well, this singers are. He said, you're going to have to preach today. Y'all did a beautiful job. Thank you. But church, today, my lesson is about a woman in a difficult situation. Her husband is dead, and he left her and her two sons to pay the debt. Church, if anybody in debt today, church, are you worried how you going to pay your bills today? Church, see this woman, she didn't have any money. Church, she didn't work. She didn't have a job. Church, to make matter even worse, church, the creditor came to take her two sons. Church, to be slave, bondsman. Church, I said this poor old lady, she had no money. She had no job. But she prayed. She meditated day and night. And church, she went to the man of God. And church, and he gave her some good advice. Church, I just want to say in 2 Kings, chapter 4 and verse 3, it read, then he said, go out and borrow an empty container from all your neighbors, not just a few. Church, if I can stop there for a moment and use for my subject. While you worry, be thankful. I said, go out and gather your container. Do not get just a few. Church, let us pray. Lord, as I stand, Lord, I ask you to speak through me, that someone will understand better by and by. Church, see, we worry. We worry about things. And the dictionary said, worry is to think about a problem of fear. It's to feel and concern because you think something bad is about to happen. Trouble, difficulty, anxiety. And church, it went on and said the definition for thankful is to be glad when something has happened and you are truly thankful. Church, when you trust in God, church, you can be thankful. Why are you worried? I know, church, Christmas is around the corner. And church, I understand it's a few more days before Christmas. And church, we sitting here worrying about who we're going to buy a gift for. How much money we're going to spend. And church, what bill we want paid this month. And church, what we begin to do, we begin to worry, church. We're worrying, church. Am I right about that, church? We worry about how we're going to pay our bill. But what we should be doing, church, we should be looking up to the hill which come our help. We should be praying and thanking God, asking the Lord to see that we make it to December the 25th. Church, tomorrow is not promised. Church, I ask you, pray and ask the Lord to see you through. But we worry about what we can't control, church. See, tomorrow, once again, church, is not promised. Well, church, as this lesson unfolds, now Elijah is a prophet, a man of God. He's human, church. And Elijah the prophet, he was the one that told Naaman to go down to the Jordan River and dip 7 times, church. Elijah also was the prophet, church. When he was leaving Jericho, church, some little boys began to pick at Elijah. They began to call Elijah a bald head. And church, what Elijah did, Elijah turned around, church, and he put a curse on these little boys. And church, what happened to Brown Big Bill came out, and they ripped the little boys apart. Church, I'm saying be careful how you treat the man of God, church, because things could happen, church. But I went on to say, church, but there were some little boys, church, they didn't understand what was going on. Church, this lesson, it made me think, church, about our life as Christians. How we need to lean and depend on God. How we should be thankful for how God has continued to bless us, church. We are worried about finance. We worry about family. We worry about our kids, church. Church, God don't want us to worry. We worry about unnecessary things, church. Church, I'm saying give it over to God. Where is your faith? You of little faith, church. Why are you worrying, church? Church, the Bible, church, is saying, God, he created us not to worry. God created us to worship him. Can I say that again, church? God didn't create us to worry. God created us to worship him. So, church, what I'm saying, we need to go to God. We need to go to God when things not doing right. Instead of worrying, church, prayer is the answer. Church, see, worrying is a waste of today's time. By cluttering up tomorrow's opportunity and with yesterday's problem. I cannot say it again, church. Worry is a waste of today's time by cluttering up tomorrow's opportunity and with yesterday's problem. So why are we worried? Church, why are we worried? See, this certain woman, this widow, church, she trouble and fear, Brother Thompson, has struck this certain woman. Church, she began to worry. Church, she was worried because she didn't have money to pay her debt. Church, I know worrying is a sin. But church, she began to worry. Church, see, her husband had died. Church, and he worshiped God. And church, she worshiped God. And she believed in God. But being a human being like you and I, church, she began to worry, church. Church, we tend to worry about things. Church, we worry when trouble comes our way. Now, church, the Bible says her husband did fear the Lord. But being human, I believe, church, her husband began to worry. Church, before he died, church, because he knew, church, he was about to leave them in debt. And church, he didn't have money to pay the debt. So I believe this man began to worry, Brother Joe. I think he was worrying before he passed. But church, that's human, church. When you know you about to leave here and you know you in debt and your family don't have any money, you begin to worry, church. But God said, do not worry, church. But being human, church, we tend to worry about things, church. Church, he realized, church, that he was leaving his wife and his son no money to pay the debt. Church, see, a few days ago, I find myself, church, I was like that certain woman, church. I began to worry about things. Church, I wasn't putting God first in my life. Church, I was just worried about what I can't do and what I can do. Church, I began to worry. I wasn't letting God take control of the issue, sir. I realized, church, I was having some stomach problems. I was having some back issues. But, church, I wasn't being a child of God at the time. I began to worry, church, and I wasn't trusting and leaning on God. But, church, I woke up one day. I said, I'm going to give it all to God. And I let God have it, church. And now I can look to the hills, church, where cometh our help. All we have to do, church, is lean and depend on God. Church, now being this woman, church, she began to worry, church. Church, see, this certain woman, she ran to the prophet Elijah. And because, church, she needed some help. Church, the Bible said, now there cried a certain woman of the wife of the son of the prophet unto Elijah, saying, thy servant, my husband, is dead, and I know thy servant did fear the Lord. Well, church, and your credit had come to take unto me my two sons. Church, she was afraid, church. She began to worry, church. Now, church, this certain woman, she don't have a husband anymore. Church, she don't have a job. Church, she don't have any money. Church, she don't have any food. I believe, church, this certain woman, church, she prayed her last prayer, and she began to worry, Brother Story. This certain woman began worrying after she had lost her husband, church. Church, this certain woman began to worry, church. What she did, church, she went to the man of God. If not, church, they would take her two sons to be slaves. Church, the creditor, they say he came to take her two sons, church. And you know, church, a creditor is a person that lend you money, church. And you promise to pay that money back after a certain time, church. If not, church, your kids will be taken away. Church, and this certain woman, she knew that, Brother Thomas. She knew she didn't have money to pay her debt. Well, church, have any of you been in a situation where you couldn't pay your debt? Your light bill was due. You didn't have money for food, church. And you knew, church, you spent all you had. Church, this certain lady was in debt, church. She didn't have no money, church. And, church, she began to worry. Church, I believe this certain woman had a relationship with God. Church, she knew how to pray. Church, she knew who to call on. Church, she knew who to go to. Church, she didn't run to her family. Church, she didn't run to her neighbor. Church, what she did, church, she went to the man of God. And, church, he heard her cry. Church, see, we got places we can run to. But, church, she couldn't go get food stamps. Church, she couldn't go to the welfare. Church, she didn't have Social Security, church. But, church, she went to the man of God. And, church, see, we got places that we can go to. Church, we can go to the bank when we need a loan. Church, we can go to the welfare when we need help. Church, we can go get food stamps when we're hungry. But this poor lady, church, she didn't have nothing to go to. Church, what I'm saying, church, but what we should be doing, church, we're not thankful for what we do have. Church, we should be thankful for what God has blessed us with. Why? Why are you worried? Why are you worried? Church, this poor woman, she had her two sons was about to become slaves. Now, God don't want us running around worrying, church. God wants us to lean and depend on him. Just like saying, put your trust in the Lord. Matthew 6 and verse 27 says, Jesus cautioned that worrying won't add a single hour to our life. Research showed that 85% of worry don't even happen, church. Why are we worried? Church, worry can lead to a stroke. Church, worry can lead to a heart attack. Church, worry can lead to high blood pressure. Church, they say worry can cause you to have an ulcer. Church, when you not leaning and depending on God. Church, you're not really trusting God. Why are we worrying, church? God is our provider, church. He's bread when you're starving. He's water when you're thirsty, church. He's a heart fixer, sir. He's money in you when you're broke, church. He's a heart regulator. He's a mind regulator. He's a heart fixer, sir. He's water under troubled water. He's a bridge over troubled water. Church, I'm saying, church, why? Why are we worrying, church? Give it over to God, church, and he will see you through. Church, they say the creditor had come to take unto her 2 sons. Church, back in Leviticus days. See, church, if you was a bondsman or a slave, you had 7 years, church, to work off your bondsman. Church, if not, they would take your kids. And church, this like I say in Leviticus days, if you owe some money, the Bible didn't say how much you owe, whether it was a little amount or a big amount. You had 7 years, church, to work off your debt. And that was common law, church. You had to work off your debt. And church, that widow, she knew that, Brother Thompson. She knew that if the credit come to take her son, they will be gone for 7 long years, church. Church, this certain woman, she needed some help. So, church, she ran to the man of God, and she began to beg, church. Church, she was saying Elijah. She said Elijah, and Elijah being a prophet, church. And Elijah said unto the certain woman, he said, what shall I do? What shall I do, church? He was asking the certain lady, what shall I do? And he said, tell me. Church, Elijah wanted to know. Church, if I can use my sanctified imagination, church, I can just see Elijah standing back. Just wonder, how can I help this poor woman? She told me she didn't have no money. She told me that her husband was dead. Church, she told me they were coming to take my 2 sons. She said, can you help me, Elijah? Elijah said to this certain woman, church, she said, hi. He said, tell me. He said, tell me. Tell me, what do you have in your house? He said, tell me. This certain woman said, your handmaid. She said, I don't have no money. I don't have nothing. I'm just a maid, church. She said, I don't have anything in my house but a pot of oil. Church, she was being honest. She was letting Elijah know that she don't have nothing but a pot of oil, church. Well, church, Elijah, he gave this woman some strange advice. He even gave her, church, some strange instruction. Church, he told this lady, he said, you go. He said, go to your neighbor and borrow an empty container. Church, don't that sound like some strange advice? Here I am, church. I don't have no food. My husband just died. And here I am asking you to help me. And you telling me to go get some empty container. Church, what would I do with an empty container? And you told me to go to my neighbor. Church, I believe if someone that came to you and you down and out, and he told you to go get some empty container, go to your neighbor and borrow some. I think you would say like I would say, church, I'm going to Leroy's house. I'm going to get Leroy to give me a loan. I need help. I can just see that woman saying, but church, she didn't say that. Church, she didn't say it. She went to the man of God for advice. Church, that's what we need to do when we're down and out. We need to go to the man of God. And church, let him help you. Church, see, this certain woman, she went to the man of God. And the prophet Elijah, being a man of God, church, Elijah, he knew God would work miracles. Elijah told this certain woman, he said, don't get just a few. He said, meaning, get a lot. Get as many as you can. You see, this message seemed to be that the more container you get, the more oil you will receive. Church, what Elijah was saying to this certain woman, he said, the less container you get, the less oil you will receive. But the more container you get, the more your blessing will be. Church, God will supply all your needs. All you have to do is lean and depend on him. Church, this certain woman, she was thankful. See, she went to the prophet. And a prophet, church, is a person that give God message. So, see, we don't have prophet today, but we have God's word. But I want you to understand, we do have those psychic, those palm reader. We have musicians. They'll come to you and tell you, if you give me a certain amount of money, I can read your palm and you can be rich. I can tell you what number to play so you can get some money. Church, that's a bunch of foolishness. That's the trick of the devil. See, church, in Exodus, I believe around verse chapter 7. See, when Moses and Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh wouldn't let God's people go, he head was hard, church. And when Aaron came out with his serpent, Aaron took his serpent and he hit the ground. And his rod. And he hit the ground, it became a serpent. Well, church, because of Pharaoh wanted to show that he had some power. So he called his musician. And his musician took his rod and he hit the ground. And it became a serpent also. But what he didn't know, church, God is in control. What God did, church, he took Aaron's rod and he swallowed up what my man, Pharaoh serpent. So see, I tell you all this, church, to say, you got to be careful how you work with God. Because see, God got all power. Yeah, Pharaoh musician, they had some power. They had some trick, but it didn't work. God showed him, I can swallow up you. So that's what he did. But let me move on, church. But this certain woman, she was obedient to God's command. She got all her container, Brother Story. She didn't get just a few. She got as many as she could because she obeyed God. What she did, church, they say she went in and she shut the door. And church, she grabbed the first container, Brother Thompson, and she poured some oil in it. And church, she went back and got the second container, and she poured some more oil in it. Church, the thing was looking good to this poor lady. Church, she was being blessed. So church, then she went, church, and she got another container. And they all continued to multiply, church, until every container was full, church. Church, see how God works. God can work miracles if you only lean and trust in him, church. She believed in God. She trusted God. She went to the man of God, church, and now she is blessed, church. Why? Because she went to the man of God for advice. Now all her container, church, is full. And now they all stopped. Church, that's a miracle. She started out with nothing but a pot of oil. But because she had faith and she trusted God, she went in, she closed the door. She did what Elijah told her. She didn't ask no question. She didn't say, I'm just going to go in my house and die. She went in the house. She took her boys. She shut the door. And then she started pouring off. And it continued to multiply, church. That's the work of God, church. See, church, what God will give you more than you expect when you trust in him. See, God's power has been shown, church. Now she's being thankful. God has saved this certain woman from all her distress. Church, God put this certain woman in a position so that he could show his blessing through her. Now she can be thankful, church. Church, after all, continue. Church, Elijah asked a question. He said, what do you have in your house that you could sell and pay your debt so that you and your two sons can live and be thankful? Church, God was teaching us that how much you have, he can still make the best out of it. How little we have, we can be blessed. Church, God's power was clearly seen through the prophet Elijah. Church, the prophet Elijah, the man of God. When praises goes up, blessing come down. This certain woman didn't know what she had in her house, but she trusted and obeyed the man of God command. what's in your house? My question today to you, what do you have in your house that you could sell? What about that old antique pot you got in your closet that you don't use? What about that old grandfather clock you got in your garage? Church, what I'm trying to tell you, I'm just saying, you may have some things that you could sell and stop running around worrying how you going to pay your bill. Church, you may have something in your garage. You may have something in your closet. Church, what I'm saying, what about that old antique lamp? What about that old computer you don't use? What about those Michael Jordan shoes? Church, I'm saying sell it, and pay your debt. Pay your debt. Isaiah 41:10 says, don't be afraid because I am with you. He said, don't be imitated. I am your God. He said, don't be intimidated. I am your God. I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will support you. Isaiah went on and said, church, he said, don't be afraid because I have reclaimed you. Church, I have called you by your name. Church, John 16:33 said, he said, I have told you this so that my peace will be with you. In this world, church, we will face some trouble. He said, but cheer up. I have overcome this world. Church, this certain woman, she have overcome her distress. God don't want us worried. God want us to be thankful. Church, then this, as I begin to close, then this certain woman, she went to the prophet Elijah. And Elijah said to this certain woman, he said, go and sell your oil and pay your debt and live on the rest of the sale. Church, what I'm saying, God may not bless, he may not multiply our cooking oil, but he will bless us on your level of faith. So I'm saying, gather your container. Don't get just a few. That's the lesson. She went to the man of God for advice. Sir, the blessing is in the lesson. Why are you worried? That's the lesson. So, church, I'm saying, if you worry, just give it over to God. As I begin to extend the invitation, I know we all worry. I know it's human. That this part of our nature. But God wants us to lean and depend on him. So, church, I'm saying, why don't you come today? But first, you must hear the word. And once you heard the word, church, you must believe. And after you have believed, church, then you repent. And after you have repent, church, you make that confession. And church, the next step, we'll take you down. You can wash you clean. Yes, you're still going to worry, but we can wash some of that worry away. You can come up, church, as a new creature. Church, I'm saying, try Jesus. He's all right. If you just need prayer, or you have strayed away from the household, and you want to come back home, church, I beg you to come as together we stand and sing the invitation song. Without you, Lord, I just can't make it without you, without you, Lord. Oh, I need my Lord. I need you, Jesus. I never would have made it without you, Lord. Without you, Lord. Without you, Lord. Oh, Lord. Without you, Lord. I need you, Jesus. I
I can't. I just can't make it without you,
Lord.
without you, Lord.
Without you, Lord.
Oh, I need my Lord.
Without you, Lord.
I need you, Jesus. I can't. I just can't make it without you, Lord. There was a time in my life I was living in sin, living without Christ. It made me start to wonder. Oh, wonder just what I did wrong to make my race so hard to run without you, Lord.
Without you, Lord.
Oh, I need my Lord.
Without you, Lord.
I need you, Jesus. I can't. I just can't make it without you, Lord. Without you, Lord.
Without you, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Without you, Lord.
I need you, Jesus. I can't make it. I never would have made it without you, Lord.
Amen. Without you, Lord, how can we make it? Church, I want you to listen to that song. There's some true meaning behind that song. We see we got one precious soul still standing. I give way to Brother Ellis.